What's going on, YouTubers, gamers, and hobbyists? Hello and welcome to this second Fighting Fantasy playthrough reminiscence. I don't know what you would call it. Playthrough, definitely. And we're talking the second book in the Fighting Fantasy series. Now, that's the original cover, and I didn't use that book to play through it. I used a later one, which is this one. And I can tell you it's got the exact same pictures inside. Some of the later Fighting Fantasy books had, well, I'm going to say it now, crapper art and crapper covers. Although this one, you could argue that cover, that one there, is better than that one. Although that one, to me, is more iconic. Alright? And my character sheet, or adventure sheet, I downloaded, and I used. What, do you want to know how many playthroughs I did of this game? I did 5 playthroughs of this game. Now I know what I said. I know exactly what I said. I said I would only play it through once, unless I died very quickly. Well, I played it through 5 times, and I reckon I must have got about 80% of the way through each time. I failed. I did not get to Balthasar. Did not even meet him. And that's a great shame. Now, I should have said this at the start, caveat these videos by saying I don't have the best memory. Could be due to my MS. It could be due to many factors. I'm just, too old now. I don't know. I remember bits going through, and I had some extremely bad luck and dice rolls. And in the end, I thought I'm gonna call it a day here because there's only so many times you can do it. But that said, what did I think of the Citadel of Chaos? Well, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a cracking game book, and I am going to do some sort of list, best to worst, at some point, and I might start putting it together on the way along our journey. I mean, this is only the second book I've reviewed, or I'm talking about. And so the Citadel of Chaos then. So obviously it's set within a citadel, and you could kind of equate that to a dungeon crawly. Although this one has magic. You have magic spells that you can take with you, which is awesome. I love that differential from that to the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. You've still got all the other stuff's the same, the luck, skill, stamina, and all the rest of it. Although I did notice no provisions on the adventure sheet on this one. I'm just gonna, there's no provisions. Your stamina's brought back up to speed with the use of spells, and you've got to choose. You roll a magic number, right? And that's the number of spells that you can take. Now, you can take more of one. You could take, like, say, there's one called Fire. I mean, and you've got a magic score of, say, 15, where you could take 5 Fire, and then 10 separate other ones, or whatever combination you want. There's weakness, strength, ESP, levitation. Now, I'm going to use the original book, and I'm just going to go through some of the spells that you've got here at the start here. Magic spells. Now, from my 5 attempts at doing this, I would say the first one you get offered is Creature Copy. That's pretty essential, I would say. ESP, I didn't find it essential. I mean, I'm talking like I've completed it, but I haven't completed it. But ESP, no go. And I can talk about why I didn't think that was necessary. At least in my experience, it's not necessary. Fire, yeah, it's a bit meh. Fool's Gold, I didn't bother with that. Illusion, maybe. Levitation is a definite must. And then you have luck, skill and stamina. Oh, you definitely need to take those, a couple of each, I would say. Shield, yeah, possibly, and strength, possibly, yeah. Weakness, I didn't find too much of a need for, but that said, there you go. Now, I do have some things. So, yeah, so the cover itself, the original cover, is iconic for me. We had, this is a book we had in our school library, and I can remember another kid had it out at the time. I thought, oh yeah, the Citadel of Chaos. Now at the time, as a kid, I do remember thinking this game is harder than the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, and it's true. I haven't completed it in 5 attempts. Like I say, I think a lot of it was bad luck, but I don't think it's harder than the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. I certainly found it more enjoyable than the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, and I'll tell you one reason why. It's got that very old school, like D&D type feel to it. You have some really strange encounters, bizarre encounters. I don't even know where to begin. Like talking objects, floating leprechauns, all that kind of stuff. And I haven't got pictures of those. I should have found them. They're there. But, so what killed me anyway? Well, there's a creature called, call it a creature, it's more like a ghost head. But they're called the Ganges. Now, I died at their hands 3 times. Fighting with a sword is no good against them. Magic is no good against them. They can control your magic. You need an artifact. You either need an amulet or an ointment. There's 2 of the... I mean, you can get away with the ointment, but the amulet is the one that will ensure your passage past them. But if you haven't got either of those, you're not going to progress. No. Then I died at the hands of the Hydra again. That was just due to bad luck. I had 3 creature copies. You need 3 creature copies just to replicate the Hydra because it's so massive. But God, did my copy of it roll poorly? My goodness. I did eventually manage to kill it on the last go and progress through going up to the Citadel, but I came across a door that you needed a combination for. The strength spell didn't work. I couldn't break it down. You needed a combination, and you need to turn to that specific reference in the book. I didn't have it. I couldn't complete it, and that was as far as my adventure got. Now, so let's go back to some memorable moments. I mean, the Ganges obviously are memorable, but going through, if you take one particular route, you come across a bush that has some strange berries on it. They can be quite useful because they can put creatures to sleep, and I used them on these weird creatures later on. That was pretty good. You do eventually come to like a sort of guard. I think he's described as a brutish creature, and he's easy enough to get by. Now, right, there's an iconic place you come to, which is a log table. It says here, I'm reading from it. Large enough to seat 40 or 50 people, stands in the centre. Now, there's suits of armour standing alongside it, and there are paintings on the wall, and there is a staircase on the left and to the right leading up to a balcony. Now, like I say, my memory is poor, but I did remember, I couldn't remember what happened, and I still don't know what happens, but I'm 99% convinced that if you look at the paintings or investigate the suits of armour, it doesn't go very well for you. What I notice in this book is if things don't go well for you, you can either die an instant death or lose stats like skill or stamina, that kind of thing, and it just hinders you or wastes your time. So I didn't bother with that. I just walked straight up. And don't take the left staircase because they go flat and you come sliding to the bottom. Again, I think you lose a stat or stamina or something for that. Go up the right hand staircase. That will eventually bring you to the Ganges. Like I say, there are strange encounters with like rock golem things and that. But the Hydra, he was a tough nut, but I did beat him eventually. I mean, creature copy would have killed him had I rolled adequately, I suppose. But I rolled very, very poorly. But I did kill him on my last go, and then I just thought, you know what? I think I'm about 80% of the way through. I think Balthasar is not far on from here. Now, I know some of you be like, well, you might as well just do it again. And excuse me. You might as well just do it again then. But, you know, I want to move on. I don't want to dwell. But as I say, I enjoy it more than the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, because the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, when you play for it, it's clearly the first game. It feels like their first attempt. Steve Jackson's Citadel of Chaos feels a little bit more polished for me. Glad there's no maze of Zagor in it, or anywhere you could get lost. But, you know, not too puzzly, but you do need to find things. So, you know, you've got to find the right things. Have to find that combination somewhere. And I know loads of you will be screaming out saying, it's in the so-and-so room or whatever. That's fine. But I went back 5 times. You know, I played it through 5 times. Now, I played Warlock of Firetop Mountain once, and I had no desire to play it again for some time. Purely because of the maze. Citadel of Chaos I found very enjoyable, and I would happily play it again and again and again. It's just that I wanna move on to another one. But all in all, very enjoyable. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I am really looking forward to the next book, which is the Forest of Doom. Can't wait to get stuck into that one. And yeah, drop your comments below if you can. Give me a thumbs up. That always helps. Subscribe if you're not already. And look out for further videos on not just this subject, but any other hobby-related subjects I happen to make videos for. Check out the playlist. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you on another one. Bye for now. Bye-bye.